can create an environment, just like when you read and you research about Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street was designed intentionally for the upliftment of our people, and it was done by business owners. Business owners are the ones that change society, whether people like it or not. It's business owners and people with the mindset of businesses that create the hospitals, the schools, the stores, everything you name is business, especially in this country. Everything you see is dollars. So this is what we do here. We put out information. You can go to the Masternomics website. You can see in the Facebook group, you can see we just put out a lot of information, a lot of free information to help push us to the next level. So today we're going to be talking about literally that, and that's taking it to the next level. What's stopping us from getting to the next level? A lot of us, although we might be in business, we get stifled just like everyone else. We have blockages, and that's the purpose of having communities to constantly push ourselves to the next level. Because it takes more than just you. We have the ability to start, but we have to have a great environment to push us to the next level. So we're going to be talking about going to the next level personally and professionally, because that's what Masternomics focuses on. Two things, that's personal development and professional development, helping you create the business that you want, create the life that we want. And the way we do that is through business. You know, we have to understand what business is. Let me move this. Don't me off. All right. We have to understand what business is. Business is not just what we was taught in school. Business is not just exchanging money. Business is transformational. It can help you change your life, period. So at Masternomics, before you can change anything on the outside, we must first acknowledge where we at and what we are, and that's on the inside, right? And so I always say that within your DNA is unlimited power and potential. So we have to stop looking outward and acknowledge what's inside of us. You know, in this picture, you see a DNA strand. That DNA strand, scientifically, what's in our DNA? They say deoxyribonucleic acid. Well, that contains all of your genetic makeup, right? So I can take a drop of your blood, and I can find out everything about you, right? That's in your DNA. Your DNA is inside you. That's what scientists can see. But what can't they see? What's inside us that can't be seen with the naked eye, and not even with a microscope, right? That's the spiritual part of us. That's that God gene that's inside of us. That's that divinity that's inside of us. Physically, you might have limitations, but spiritually, we don't have limitations. And so at Masternomics, what we focus on is that spiritual aspect that has no limitations is what would take you to the next level when you feel limited in life. And this can be in your personal life, this can be in your marriage, your relationship, when you feel like you're missing, when you feel like you're not hitting the mark. What's going to take you to the next level is you acknowledging what's inside you, and that's that spiritual aspect, right? That's you understanding that there's no limit to what you can do, right? So what we do is we let people put limits on us, right? And then if we accept it, then we've created a limitation for ourselves. So right here, we see 4 ways to take your life to the next level. These are just 4 ways. There's a lot of ways. And self-mastery is understanding this. Everything is constant. For you to master yourself, it's a daily thing to do, right? It's not just reading a book. So I get people and they say, well, I read that book. I read this. And I said, well, how many times did you read it? Are you studying it, right? So self-mastery is just about that. It's mastering the self, okay? You can't master yourself after reading one book. You can't master yourself after, taking one course or whatever degree you get. It's constant. It's mastering yourself. It's constant elevation. So 4 ways to take your life to the next level. First, move beyond fear. Fear is debilitating. My greatest teacher taught me, he said, fear is the most debilitating emotion. Look up that word debilitating. It immobilizes you. It makes you where you can't move. You think about fear, fear stops you in your tracks. Think about the things that you haven't done in life. Think about the things you've been putting off. What's stopping you is fear, right? What are you afraid of? What stops people from starting a business? Okay, the people that are in business, what stops them from applying for the loan that they want to do? Fear, right? Fear. Fear of what? Fear of a created outcome in your own mind. Okay, I talk to people and they say, well, look, I've been dating this woman for X amount of time. I know she's the perfect woman, but I'm scared to pop the question. Why? Why are you afraid? You say, she's the perfect woman. She does this for you. The life is better with her. And so I ask, whenever I'm encountered with those type of people, I always ask them, I said, well, let's say this woman was removed out of your life. We know all these positives that she adds. Let's say we remove her. Could you go on without her? Man, I couldn't do it. So what's stopping you from asking that question and saying, will you marry me? Fear. What are you afraid of? Because this guy, whoever he is, right, he's listened to people and they say, oh, marriage is this or that, right? So they're describing a negative scenario and you're listening to somebody on the outside of you, listening to how they did it, and then it just stops you from doing it for yourself, right? Fear. And that takes you right into number 2, having the courage to take risk. It takes courage to take risk. It takes courage, right? And that's what most of us don't have. We don't have courage to keep going. You see what I'm saying? That's what separates the massively successful people from the ones that aren't. It's just courage. You got to be willing to take risks. Being an entrepreneur, it is risk in it. People say, well, you can play it safe. You can play it safe and just keep on with your job, right? And you just know what you're going to make and you just live a mundane life. They say that's playing it safe. I say that's the biggest risk ever, because most people that work for someone, they don't know the boss. They don't know if he's handling business. They really don't know if they'll be employed the next day. How many people that just go into work and they find out the company is shutting down? They took the biggest risk of their life. Why? Why is that risky? They put their life in someone else's hands. Okay. So this affects us personally. This fear, this lack of courage stops people from going to the next level. Listening to other people. And this could be who you're dating, and people, guys say, well, you don't need to mess with this person, or girls, you don't need to mess with this guy, or whatever. You got to experience this for yourself. Experience is the best teacher. Okay. Then that moves to the next. Number 3, move beyond other people's opinion. Right. Move beyond what other people see you as. Okay. I was taught there's 3 U's. One is the way other people see you. Then there's the way you see yourself. And then there's the real you. The real you. The real you is inside. The real you ain't this shell. The real you is what you got to get in contact with. But you definitely can't deal with who they see you as, because they don't see your vision. They're not inside your head. So what keeps us from moving up in life, and this could be simple, this thing can stop you from having a great family life. Right? It's accepting other people's opinions of you. Oh, this man ain't nothing. That woman ain't nothing. I knew them in high school, this or that, right? And you start to believe the chatter in your ear. You start to believe all that junk, right? But the most important belief is self-belief, is what you believe about yourself. So you got people that aren't being good fathers, good mothers, aren't being productive people in society, even on a basic level, their personal life, because of fear, because you're listening to what other people say. You got to get rid of that. If you really want to experience life, and this is not even just about business, if you want to experience life, you got to stop listening to what other people tell you and look at number 4. Trade comfort for progress. See, a lot of us want to be so comfortable, right? What's comfort? When it just feels good and it's easy. It's what you're used to, but your comfort zone is your dead zone. Because if we know scientifically everything is moving, nothing is really sitting still, right? Then you got to move. You got to be moving, right? but you should be moving forward. You shouldn't just be moving in a dead space. You got to move forward. So when you move forward, you do get uncomfortable. It's just like even if you was on a job, right? If you're on a job and you move to a new position and you got to learn, some new software or something, there's a form of discomfort. But guess what? There's more money in the next position, right? And so what happens in order for you to progress financially, you got to move up. You got to be willing to move. You got to be willing to get uncomfortable. Well, that's life. You got to be willing to get uncomfortable. I talk to people on a daily basis, say that, yeah, I want to buy a house. I want this for my family. But they're not willing to get uncomfortable. They're scared to even look at their credit report. I asked them, what's the credit report? Have you ever checked it out? Nah, man, I don't want to see it. I know it's bad. They're scared. That fear is dominating them. They don't want to get uncomfortable, right? Get uncomfortable. Do something different. You want a different result, you got to do something different. These are the little things that will shift you and help you live a better life, right? Once you get past the discomfort, then you mastered it. It's just like working out. Anybody here lifted weights or worked out or ran track or anything? The weights, I always heard it first, lifting. But what happens? Your muscles get used to it. It's called muscle memory. They get used to it. 200 pounds ain't nothing. Bench pressing 250 ain't nothing. You jump in there, a month after doing that, and you doing it like that, you got to go up on the weight. Well, that's life. You can't sit still, right? If you're in a relationship, you can't keep doing the same thing. You want to keep that man or woman, you got to move. You got to get to the next level, right? You got to constantly be moving. These things take your life to the next level, right? If you do these 4 basic things, move beyond fear, have the courage to take risks, and let me touch on that again. There's a difference between risk, gambling, and calculated risk. So when I'm talking about investing in business, that's considered a calculated risk. That takes you doing study, knowing what you're doing, checking it out, doing your homework, and then you invest, so to speak. So that's different than just gambling, jumping out of there saying, oh, I believe I'm going to do this. No, that's not what I'm talking about, right? Move beyond other people's opinions, right? Don't let someone else's opinion you become your reality. If somebody believes this about you, you don't have to accept it. And trade your comfort for progress. Things will always be uncomfortable first. I used to not be able to speak in front of people. It was uncomfortable. I felt like everybody's looking at me. So what? They're looking at you anyway. Everybody looks at somebody, right? But most of the time, when they're looking at me now, I know I'm offering something, so I created value in myself, okay? On a business level, in a business aspect. So in Masternomics, we use the money motion circle. So everybody probably has heard of the cash flow quadrant. Well, if you haven't, well, now you have. And this is where we move from employee to self-employed to business owner to investor, right? You ever read Rich Dad Poor Dad? Right. Here, because we deal with the more spiritual aspects of things and not just the physical, we added this motion. What is this motion? Everything is moving. Everything is shifting. What is this motion? It's your consciousness. Your consciousness, your awareness has to always move. Right now, if you work in a job, you're an employee mindset. In order for you to become a business, establish yourself in business, your consciousness has to shift to understanding being self-employed. What is shifting? The responsibility, right? You're not dependent on someone else, you're dependent on yourself. Then after you do that for an amount of time, then you can shift to business owner. But your awareness is changing, right? Most people aren't even aware of where they're at right now. That's why they never go anywhere, right? So you have to become aware of where you are right now. Become aware of your finances, become aware of your credit score, become aware if you're in a relationship with somebody, what is their credit score? Do they understand finances, right? These are things that are governing our lives, but we're not doing it, and we wonder why we can't get to the next level, right? So I always tell people, this ties together. That's why this is personal and professional. It ties together. your business is only going to be as strong as you if you're a self-employed business owner. If your mind ain't right, you're going to produce a business that's going to reflect your confused mind. So that's why we use that. This implies motion and applies a lot of other things. If you look in the middle, you see that DNA strand again, right? Whether you're an employee, self-employed, business owner, or investor, you have to be involved in the process, right? And that's what your life is about. It's about you mastering yourself, self-mastery. Now, on a business level or professional level, 4 ways to take your business to the next level. First, focus on the customer service. Whatever business you're in, remember, how do we make money? We make money from people, right? If we make money from people, then how we serve the people is most important. Service. So you have to focus on your customer service. How, if you're in the service, if you're training, whatever type of industry you're in, especially if you're selling a product, right? How are you serving this? How are you present? How am I giving this to the person, right? Focus on that. And that will take your business to the next level. Whatever business you're doing, I don't care if you're washing cars, I don't care if you're selling cars, I don't care if you're doing taxes, you're selling insurance, you're doing hair. How are you serving the person that you're serving, right? Everything is service, okay? So you got to grasp that. Am I serving to the best of my ability? Focus on that. Analyze it. Ask your customers, what do you like mostly about this? What do you like this? And they'll tell you, and ask them to be honest. Why you think all these successful businesses, when you walk out of the power company and you get an email and they want to know, how was it? Answer this survey right quick. Because people that are thriving in business understand it's about service. So they want to know, are we doing a good job? And if we're not, we'll correct it for you. You mean that much to me. Okay. Money comes from people. Number 2, make a commitment to continuous learning. Be committed to constantly learn. Okay. You have to be committed to learning. Commitment. If we are people and we have 360 degrees of knowledge, what's that mean? That means we never stop learning. That means it's an endless cycle. As long as you're here, it's a circle. The circle is never ending. Tell me where the circle starts and where it ends. You can't answer that question, right? So knowledge is infinite. You're going to keep gaining knowledge. So you have to always make a commitment to continuous learning. Whatever business you're in, whatever field you're in, whatever you're doing, you got to constantly be committed to learning in that field. You have to always be committed to that, right? Always learning something. The businesses that I deal with, I'm always studying. I'm a student, I'm always studying. I'm always learning. I'm always figuring, how can I get better? How can I get more? How can I learn more? Why? Because it's value. I'm adding value to myself with the knowledge, okay? 3, constantly raise the bar by goal setting. These are things that's going to take your business to the next level. Whatever business you're in, if you sit down with me, I can show you how you can make probably double your income. And I'm for real, right? But you're going to get uncomfortable. I'm going to make you get uncomfortable because I'm going to hold you accountable. We're going to set some goals. Goal setting, it makes you raise the bar. I always say, I'm not competing with nobody out there. I'm competing with myself. When I don't hit my mark, I let me down. And that's how you got to think. So you got to set goals to raise the bar. Look at the money that you're making. Whatever business you got right now, whatever your business is, look at the money you made this month. And I guarantee you, if you analyze it and you study it, there's ways you can make more. I guarantee you, right? And a lot of that can come from number 4, learning how to delegate. There's a reason why companies grow and they scale, because they know how to delegate. So when you want to make large amounts of money, you have to serve more people, right? And the way you serve more people, you got to learn how to delegate some of this work that you got on yourself. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can't do everything on your own. You can't answer the phone, you can't be the secretary, you can't do the paperwork. and be the one that runs to the bank. If you want to make large sums of money, you got to learn how to delegate. The reason why most businesses that are small businesses stay small, because they don't know how to delegate. They don't know how to scale. They're cheap. They're thinking with this mindset, a self-employed mindset. I'm not saying that's bad, but when you want to make large money, you want to grow your business, you got to start thinking as a business owner. Okay. So your concept of money has to shift to serving more people, right? You got to serve more people to get more value, right? 3 things that's going to always affect your money. The amount of money you earn will always be in direct ratio to these 3 things. 1, the demand for the product or service that you provide. The demand for the product or service that you provide. There has to be a demand for it. For whatever service that you're in, there has to be a demand for it. Number 2, how well you perform the service. So whatever your business you're in, you got to ask yourself, how well am I performing? Because you're not the only person that does it. You're a barber. You're not the only barber. There's a barber on every corner. But do you cut good, right? How well do you perform the service? If you wash cars, how well do you perform the service? You prepare taxes, how well you perform the service? Whatever you're doing, you bake cakes, you make plates, you sell food, how well do you perform the service? Because there's other people that selling food. There's other people that fry chicken, right? Number 3, how easy is it to replace you? On a basic level, what do I mean by replace? Okay, you sell clothes. This guy over here sell clothes. I've been buying clothes from you for a year, right? You got poor customer service. You always got somebody whenever I come in, they got a bad attitude. They don't really want to help, right? So know what I'm going to do? I'm going to replace you. I'm getting tired of dealing with you. So when John Doe opens another clothes store, I replace you. It was easy to replace you. You got poor service. It's easy to replace you, right? And that's in whatever you do. That could be in your food, but now we're back to the service thing. If you look at those three things, that's going to always show your money. That's going to always show your money. When I look at a person, they say, well, this is where I work. I mean, you're replaceable. You just work. You just punching a button for somebody. My son can do that. He might be fresh out of high school, right? But the more knowledge, you become more valuable, and the harder it is to replace you. Look at your business that same way. You want to be successful in your business, right? These are the keys to success. These are the keys to wealth. These are the keys to money, right? These are things that took me to another level. When you start applying this, you'll see real money. If you're in business right now, chances are you want to make more money. If you're in business and don't want to make more money, we need to have this need to be a whole nother conversation, right? Because you get in business to make money. But what are you doing with the money? You want to take care of your family. You want to go back, you want to buy that house that you want, right? You want to take care of the woman you got or the man you got. You want to upgrade your life. You want, another car. You want more things, right? If you want more things, you got to pay attention to the little things. And this is how you go to the next level. It's not the big stuff. It's the little stuff. It's the little thing by stop being afraid. Stop being afraid to work on your credit. Stop being afraid to pay a couple $100 to start working on your credit. Stop being afraid to go into the bank and ask for a loan. Stop being afraid to hear them tell you no. So what? They just said no. When they tell you no, they're going to tell you what you need to do, right? Because your biggest asset is your time. That's your biggest asset. But you don't really know how much time you got. So you need to make the decision right now, this moment, to say, look, I'm going to become more conscious of where I'm at and take my life to the next level. Right. I'm going to get uncomfortable. I'm going to choose progress over comfort. Right. So you have to progress. Decide now to change your life. Time is running out. Time is not running out, but your life is. Dr. Dennis Kimbrough. Time is not running out, but your life is. Think about that. Your life is running out. Time will be here. When you're gone, this world is it'll keep moving. It's gonna keep going. We've all lost people, right? And then we say, "Dang, man, he died young. She died young," right? You don't know when you're gonna exit out. But one thing you do know is you have the ability to control what you can control. You can control your spending habits. You can control if you want something or not. You can make the decision to start the business. You can make the decision to stop playing with the business. There's a lot of people in business and you're playing with it. I always tell people, just because you got a piece of paper that says business license, that don't impress me. What impresses me is excellence. What impresses me when somebody say, I started this business such and such date, and I wasn't making nothing, now I'm doing this and I quit my job. Right? That's impressive. That's movement. That's growth. It's all about movement. So you got to move, right? So these things will take our life to the next level. These are the things that they're not going to teach you in school, right? They're not going to tell you this, right? Nobody that wants you in any system is going to tell us this. They ain't going to do it. They're not going to do it. You know, I went to college. They didn't tell me this, right? I got in debt. Nobody told me this. People are going and paying thousands and thousands of dollars right now to universities. You ain't learning nothing about the universe. You're not even learning about the economy, right? And people are in a fear-based society. No matter what's happening in society, guess what? Entrepreneurs ain't never scared, because any problem is just somebody that's going to fix the problem, right? So entrepreneurs get paid for fixing problems. Everybody on here is an entrepreneur or aspiring to be one, right? So just realize that that's what you got to do. These are the keys to entrepreneurship. It ain't about all the books and all that and learning, you know, about what they say the economy is. This is how millionaires are made, right? You think about the millionaires, you turn on TV, Zuckerberg and them, these folks quit school. They quit college, you know, and now they running whole networks and platforms and got more zeros than we can even count, right? We can't even count their money. You see what I'm saying? You can do these things too. You just got to tap into the force. The force is inside you. You know, the biggest secret is it ain't no secret, right? You know what's inside you. So this is what Masternomics is about. It's about us coming together, putting out this information that can help take us to the next level, supporting one another, building this community that we can spend with one another and we can help build one another. That's the purpose of Masternomics. That's this moment of mastery that we have today. My wife normally has the questions. She texts me. All I had was 2 questions, and it might help someone else. So one of them was, what credit score do you need to get a property? What credit score do you need to get a property? And I'm gonna say this, and this will lead to a conversation, but any real estate investors on here tell you, look, all it takes is the will to do it. Your credit can be bad, right? And stop believing what they taught you in school about buying property, right? And all it takes is the will to do it. You can have a 500 credit score and go buy some property and leverage it and have $50,000 within a month's time span. You know, I've done it and I can show you how to do it. But it just takes you shifting your thinking. The main thing to shifting your thinking is forget all the stuff that they taught you in school. You passed, you got out, that's cool. You got that certification, that diploma. Now in the real world, it's about willpower, right? It's about using them higher mental faculties. You see what I'm saying? And that's what you want to tap into, right? So don't worry about your credit. We'll get you there if you want to be an investor. But first you want to decide if that's what you want to do. And we can show you and guide you how to do it. I can show you how I did it. Person that used to have a credit score in the 500s. The best investment I made was to get in real estate. And that was 20 years ago. And I bought a piece of property and I don't even know what my credit score was. And the guy that I bought the property from never asked me the credit score. So that just shows you what can be done. And I'm not just talking, I'm telling actual facts. Another question. What do you mean about movement? So when I'm talking about movement, understand this, that we operate off of law, universal law. Universal law goes over any other law, right? So right now you might live in the state of Alabama. You say, well, the state of Alabama, the law is you can't do such and such, right? Universal law doesn't matter about a state. It doesn't matter about religion. It doesn't matter about whatever personal choice you have. What goes up must come down. That's the law of gravity. If I throw my hat in the air, it's going to come down. All right. So when I'm talking about movement, the only constant is change. Everything is changing. The way you look right now, you won't look like that 10 years from now. I don't care how many surgeries women get, blah, blah, blah. I don't care how many things guys do to try to keep our hair from falling out, blah, 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 and your hairline go back. We're always changing. The only constant is change, right? And because everything is in movement, and this gets into scientific and it gets into physics, that everything is moving. You know, they taught us, the reason why they taught us in school 1, 2, 3, or solid, liquid, and gas was to give us something to hold on to. But when you get into higher levels of study, you really realize there's no different. Nothing is really solid, right? Everything is always shifting and moving. You are designed to shift and to move. Your thoughts you shouldn't be thinking the way you thought when you was 19 if you're 30 years old. And you can keep going on. You should be shifting and moving. You should be progressing. So when I'm talking about moving, I'm literally talking about everything has to move, right? In order for you to move up or go to the next level, it's literally a movement. Your thought patterns have to move. So if you're used to making $20,000 a year, right? And you could, whatever you file on your tax return, if you've been making the same amount of money each year, you're not moving up. You are moving because everything is moving, but you're like the mouse. Have you ever seen that mouse and he's running in a circle? He's moving, but he's going nowhere. He's not progressing. So I'm talking about movement, progressional movement, right? So the way you move first is by our thinking. Our thinking causes us to shift, because when I want more, then I'll do more, right? Black people, we're slaves in this country, right? We didn't want to stay in that physical aspect, so our mental aspect shifted. We wanted freedom, and then our legs followed the mind. You see what I'm saying? So in business, you have to constantly always be moving. Your mind must be moving because everything is moving. So that's what I'm talking about, the movement aspect. Was anyone that wanted to share anything or add anything? If not, cool. Yeah, but look, I appreciate everybody. Share this with people, let people know, every Wednesday, we got 20, 30 minutes of mastery, and it's information that helps us all, and it helps take us to the next level. So we can invite people, we can let people know, follow the Masternomics, go subscribe. Let's just help grow this company, help grow this consciousness. Let's help one another. If you got questions, or anything, or you just need access. If you just need access, if us on here now want to know more about getting business funding for your businesses and stuff, y'all can reach out. You should know how to get in contact with me or the company. Everyone here should be taking their company to the next level. We want you to get funded. Let's help each other get funded. Hey, let's do the things and take our business to the next level. I appreciate everybody. If there's no one wants to add anything, then I'm gonna say peace and blessings.
Peace, bro.
All right, peace, brother.
Peace, bro. All right, now, boss.
All right.
All right.
Okay. All right. See y'all next week.